What do you think of him, Messi?
As a football player,
Yeah, and as a person.
amazing. Player is magic, top. As a person, we shared the stage 16 years. Imagine 16 years.
At the highest
We
level.
share. So I have great relationship with him. I'm not friend of him in terms of, when I mean friend, is the guy who is with you in your house, who speak on the phone. No, but it's like a teammate. He's the guy that I think that Mbappe is an amazing player. Honestly, he's really fast and such a complete player. But don't forget, all this comes from what everybody calls Farmers League. Don't get me wrong, but France League is not competitive enough. There's only one good team, and that's PSG. I think even the Saudi League is stronger and more competitive. But I'm really happy that he finally found his balls and live in his comfort zone to join Real Madrid. To be fair, my son is very expensive for me. He asks me for $10,000 a month just for haircuts and luxury clothing. I know he's young, but once I caught him spending too much money on his girlfriend and not himself, I mean, what is this? I give him money to spend on himself, not his girlfriend. He wastes almost all his money on clothes, haircuts, restaurants, and everything else that's useless.
When I first time met Speed, you mean? This kid made really crazy first impression. When I got out of my car, he was freaked out and couldn't even speak. He was so excited to meet me that he fell to the ground. I had to tell him to relax because he was acting insane, and he also barked at me, which I don't really understand. I helped him up and told him my son is a fan, and we even did my Sui celebration together. After a few days, I was on stationary bike warming up. For me, Neymar was an amazing player. He had big talent. And honestly, I think he was one of the best players in the world. And he could achieve so much more in football. But the problem was his attitude. Don't get me wrong, but he always had to be the center of attention. And that was the reason why he left Barcelona. He was always in Messi's shadow, so he moved to PSG. But he only found himself in Mbappe's shadow, so he left to Saudi. It's really sad to see such a waste of talent he had.
What is your key bit of advice to the next generation in terms of making it to the top and staying there?
Believe. I think you should believe in it, in everything, and of course the rest. It's the dedication, the hard work. Listen to people who know more than you, who they have more experience than you, and believe in your talents. I think it's the main. In my opinion, Vinicius deserved to win the Ballon d'Or. It was unfair, in my opinion. Honestly, I think this little kid had an amazing season. He won the Champions League, where he scores a lot of important goals. And he did an amazing job in Spanish League too. But to be honest, this kid really needs to improve his behavior. And I say it here in front of everybody. Because sometimes he's really disrespectful to other players. I know he's, to be honest, Jude Bellingham is playing like the next Ballon d'Or winner right now. How is it possible that midfielder is scoring a goal almost every game? He's predicted to score 50 goals this season. Has a player ever scored at this rate while posting career high numbers for defensive interceptions and tackles? I don't think so. Every match day I think to myself, he is going to drop this game, but he keeps proving me wrong. Madrid right now is set up for him to run into space, and with the midfield.
For me, he's really amazing player. He has big talent, and that bicycle kick against Everton was just amazing because it's really hard to perform it like that with this technique and everything for a kid of his age. But honestly, you can't compare it to my bicycle kick because mine is way more better and was scored in Champions League against Juventus, which is much harder. But I really appreciate the tribute of his celebration. I played with him few months.
Well, to be honest, he is a fantastic player. He can score many goals, but I was still able to outscore this young kid last year, despite my age. So he's still far away from my level, even though I'm 39 years old. Don't get me wrong, he is incredible striker. He's really fast and makes good runs, but that's not enough. He still needs creator like Kevin De Bruyne. If De Bruyne were to retire, I think that Vinicius has big potential. He's really skillful and fast, but this kid struggles a little bit with scoring goals. Don't get me wrong, he's an incredible player. He can dribble past many defenders, and I really like the way he plays, especially when he hit my goal celebration. But as I told you before, I think he really needs to improve his finishing abilities and sometimes also his disrespectful behavior. Junior is, to be honest, I think Lamine Yamal is not worse than Vinicius or Rodri. This little kid has really big potential. He's already really skillful for his age, and he also knows how to score goals, but he needs to focus more on football. Don't get me wrong, as a player is fantastic, but playing Fortnite whole days won't make you the best. I know he's still a young kid, but he needs to work on that. He also needs to improve his physicality and start going to the gym